a little bit cooler. Low 50s, mostly cloudy. Currently 61 in Shelton, 62 in Ridgefield. Big discrepancy along the shoreline. It drops 53 in Fairfield. So you've got almost a 10-degree difference. Just taking a look at the roads, there is road work on the Wilbur Cross Parkway north at exit 55. That's right by the Sikorsky Bridge, right by where the Merritt becomes the Wilbur Cross and the Wilbur Cross becomes the Merritt, depending on which direction you're going in. Reports of earlier delays being cleared in Norwalk. We're trying to find an update. There was an accident within the past hour on the Merritt in Norwalk by exit 38. I haven't seen any updates on that, but I will bring you up to date on that as soon as we have more information.
And we also have some milling going on 84. That is eastbound in Danbury. Really begins just beyond exit 4, kind of continues through that area. So they're doing some road work up there as well. Some road work as well that I saw that's getting underway. 684 northbound at that bad exit ramp, which is exit 9E, that turns you onto 84. It's all part of my drive. So I noticed they're doing that project as well.
And then we've got that Stevenson Dam project that we talked about yesterday, where going to be primarily weekends, but I think it's going to be a bigger disruption than people might think.
Oh, it's a big disruption for sure, without a doubt. All right, coffee break time, 11:03 as we jump into the news. Shelton police investigating several calls regarding a suspicious vehicle in neighborhoods near and around Waverly Road and Sorghum Road discovered a burglary and arrested 2 men on Tuesday. Callers told police 2 men would park their vehicle and knock on doors, apparently checking to determine if anyone was home. Officers dispatched to the area located the vehicle several times, but each time a stop was attempted, the vehicle fled. Officers again saw the vehicle on September Lane where it had been hidden behind a house, and a witness told police the male occupants fled on foot. Officers pursued the men on foot and found them in the backyard of a Nichols Avenue house. The men, identified as 23-year-old Emmanuel Ranger and 20-year-old Alan Young, were taken into custody. Police determined Ranger owned the suspicious vehicle and had been operating it with no registration, no insurance, and with a suspended license. Ranger was also charged with engaging police in a pursuit and interfering with an officer. Young was detained while the investigation into suspicious activity in the area of Waverly Road and Sorghum Road continued. Trumbull police performed a canine track beginning from where a witness saw the suspects park their vehicle on Waverly Road. The track led to a house on Waverly Terrace where police found that had been burglarized. Ranger and Young were both arrested for that burglary. Upon searching, Young police said they found a black mask as well as jewelry and a watch taken from the burglarized home. Ranger and Young were charged with third-degree burglary, conspiracy to commit third-degree burglary, fourth-degree larceny, conspiracy to commit fourth-degree larceny, third-degree criminal mischief, and conspiracy to commit third-degree criminal mischief. Young was held on $100,000 bond, while Ranger was held on a $75,000 bond. Both are scheduled to appear at State Superior Court in Derby today. Coffee break time, 11:05.
Rob, we're just past the tax deadline, and Easton Police continue to receive complaints about IRS fraud. They've gotten 25 since January 1st, the latest being filed last Friday. Police Chief James Candy said the Easton Police Department has received 12 phone calls reporting calls from the IRS requesting information. All of those people hung up on callers, and then 13 people were notified by their certified public accountants or by the IRS that their tax return had already been filed and they needed to confirm their identity. The exact source of the stolen identification is uncertain. Anthem is among dozens of U.S. companies that have had its computers hacked and offered free credit monitoring to those affected. Candy said one victim did allude to the Anthem hack, but Easton Police cannot confirm that. The chief said the department works with tax fraud victims, directs them to the IRS website, which he called excellent. Scary stuff.
Coffee break time, 11:06. A Massachusetts company is recalling nearly 30 tons of chicken sausage, including a brand sold at Trader Joe's, over concerns it could contain pieces of plastic. That, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, they announced that on Monday. KM Foods recalled the following brands of sausages, which the USDA said were shipped nationwide: Listen to these packages. 12-ounce packages of Trader Joe's brand sweet apple chicken sausage with the case code 9605 and use by freeze by dates of 4/22/15, 4/25/15, and 4/29/15. 8-ounce packages of Alfresco brand apple maple fully cooked breakfast chicken sausage with the case code 9709 and use by freeze by dates of June 13th, 2015 and June 20th, 2015. The company, based in Chelsea, Massachusetts, recalled the sausages after 2 consumers complained they found small pieces of plastic in the product. There were no reports of injuries related to eating the recalled sausage, the USDA said. The USDA categorized the recall as a Class 2, meaning there is, quote, remote possibility of adverse health consequences, unquote, from eating it. So you got to be aware. I mean, we can all be kind of, silly when it comes to just, oh, this looks fine, we'll just eat. No, you got to be a little more careful.
It can be a little dicey.
And I can be as foolish as anyone. This is food. Go for it,
Exactly.
So, coffee break time, 11:08.
If you're going to ride bikes to work off that chicken sausage that you ate, Trek Bicycles is recalling nearly 1 million bikes for a safety issue that has resulted in one rider being left paralyzed. The recall involves bikes with a quick-release lever on the front wheel that can interfere with the disc brakes, causing the wheel to stop turning or to separate from the bicycle frame, according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. The recall covers 900,000 Trek bikes in the United States, another 98,000 in Canada. Trek said it is aware of 3 incidents in which the problem caused riders to be injured, one that resulted in a person being left a quadriplegic. The others involved facial and wrist injuries. The bicycles are from model years 2000 to 2015. They were sold nationwide beginning in 1999. The bikes were made in Taiwan and China. Prices ranged from $480 to $1,650. Wisconsin-based Trek said it will replace the quick-release lever free of charge. It is also offering owners a $20 coupon good for bike accessories made by Bontrager.
Reminds me how I want to get back on the bicycle and start hitting the trails again.
Oh, love it. I need to do more of it.
Yeah, but I need to, and I've told you this before, I need to do something about my saddle, shall we say. A little uncomfortable.
Well, remind me, because we've had this
conversation. I know, and I've got a pretty nice bike that was actually given to me, so it'd be nice to hit the trails again. Let's
get you out there.
Yeah, everybody should, and the golf course as well.
Yes.
Coffee break time, 11:10. It is Wednesday morning here. It's probably Wednesday morning where you are as well. I'm willing to take that gamble.
Unless you're across the international.
Well, I went out on that limb, but what the heck? Based on a tip from the community, Bridgeport police recovered a vehicle they believe was involved in a hit and run Monday night on Stratford Avenue. The crash left a 72-year-old man in critical condition. The vehicle was unoccupied when found on Eagle Street and has been taken in as evidence. According to Sergeant Thomas Minar, the victim, Cyril A. Lennon of Bridgeport, was crossing Stratford Avenue at Hollister Avenue at about 8:22 Monday night when the car struck him. Anyone with information about this vehicle is asked to call Bridgeport Police at 203-576-7639. That's 203-576-7639. Coffee break time, just about 11:11.
Kind of a traffic-related item here, and then we'll go to traffic and weather, Rob. If you see heavy fire department presence along Brookside Drive in Fairfield today, do not panic. A swift water rescue program from Maine has traveled, and they will be doing practical exercises with the Fairfield Fire Department until 4 o'clock today in Riverside Park across from St. Pius X Church. That is 834 Brookside Drive. So if you see that, I'm sure traffic's going to back up a little bit on Brookside Drive. It is kind of a convenient cut through between Mill Plain Road and Black Rock Turnpike into Greenfield Hill and everything. It is only a drill, and expect traffic to be backed up. A couple new incidents since we last checked on the roads. In Greenwich, delays on the Merritt Parkway North at exit 31. Nothing new on that accident reported earlier in Norwalk. Rob told you about milling up on 84, some on 684. Also to road work on the Merritt Parkway right in Milford where it becomes the Wilbur Cross. Taking a look at the weather, they will be out working today because it's a good day for it and it's time to start patching the potholes. Partly cloudy, 61 right now. It's going to cloud over and rain later, getting up to 65 today. Dropping into the upper 30s tonight, which is a little disconcerting, but 'tis the season. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high in the mid-50s. Currently 62 in Shelton, 62 in Ridgefield, but 54 in Fairfield. 8-degree difference there.
A little chilly.
A little bit chilly. We come back. We're going to drop the bomb on history a little bit.
History, love it.
Can't wait. Talk a little bit
Or
about
scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep Chrysler.
And no, you don't. We're going to. Yeah, you don't like the people who shaped how we saw things, and we're going to talk about that.
All right, we step out. Coffee break time, 11:13 Wednesday morning. We're getting over the hump. We're back after this.
Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands at the award season event, now through April 30th. Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands at the award season event, now through April 30th. Want a new...
No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast.
Spring is finally in the air, and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well, with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
11:15 on this Wednesday, April 22nd. You're listening to Coffee Break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics. John Kovach and Rob Adams in the studio, joined by Donald Eng. And Don's going to tell us just how much of a bang today was in history.
It really was.
Do you think he's trying to tee you up for something?
He is.
Not at all.
I was going to subtly hint that we celebrate the Earth today, and we
Yes.
also commemorate a whole lot of bad things we've done too. Well, anyway, we start, speaking of the Earth, in 1529 when Spain and Portugal divided it. At the Treaty of Saragossa, they divided the world into Spanish and Portuguese spheres of influence that cut right through the Atlantic Ocean there, partly why Brazil speaks Portuguese and the rest of South America speaks Spanish. Interestingly, there was really no way to know exactly where that dividing line was because it would be 300 more years before people learned how to determine longitude at sea. Another interesting fact, 1889, at high noon, the Oklahoma land rush officially started as thousands of Americans raced for new unclaimed land in the territory. If you were unfortunate enough to have seen Far and Away, you learned a bit about the Oklahoma land rush and about Tom Cruise's ability to speak with an Irish accent.
I love the old depictions of that, though. These people just lined up, and it's like
and they fire a gun and then
100-mile dash.
It really is. It's an amazing bit of American history to read about. 1915, the Second Battle of Ypres. The Germans became the first country to use poison gas. It was actually chlorine, the same chemical that makes your eyes burn in swimming pools. It was not as effective as the Germans had hoped, but it did kill about 90 men, sent 7,000 more to the hospital. Also on this day, 1970, the first Earth Day, as we mentioned before, observed by millions of Americans. It's amazing. John Kovac and I have talked about it on Yankee Fisherman. It's amazing to think how far we've come from those days when cars spewed lead-laced exhaust into the air and you didn't dare go fishing in the Naugatuck River because you never knew what was being discharged into it.
That'd be the Noggy.
What color it was going to run.
What color it was going to be, what fumes were going to come off it.
They did. They used to, the guys I talked to, the old-timers used to, and some of them not that old, I'll probably get punched in the face for saying that, but the guys who grew up there say that you used to really look, it was kind of like a game, and it was guess what color the Naugatuck was going to run that day, depending on what was getting dumped
Which river in America is going to catch fire today?
Yeah.
2000, hard to believe it was 15 years ago, but it was in the year 2000. Elian Gonzalez reunited with his father. He had been taken from his Miami relative's home by U.S. agents in a pre-dawn raid. We all remember the photo of the agent coming through the door and pulling him out of the closet.
Yeah,
that
15 years.
Wow.
And finally, 1952. A television event that would be unheard of today.
Ready on my end, AJ. Here we go.
Well, there it is. The first public demonstration and the biggest continental atomic detonation in the history of the world. That, of course, was the shock wave. And looking into the cloud, you see the orange, the brown, the dirty black, and the fringed white. Beautiful, tremendous, and angry spectacle on this waste and barren desert.
1952, atomic bomb detonation in Nevada covered by network television.
Well, I understand what they were trying to send the public message. This is what awaits if you incur our wrath.
Basically, yes. And the amazing thing also, because you hear the delay, because he starts describing it, and then you hear that tremendous explosion. He was 40 miles away from the detonation, and so that's how long it took the shock wave to reach where they were. And the folks were just standing outside, with sunglasses on, watching an atomic bomb test.
That's messed up.
And describing it as beautiful. So anyway, and I just thought it was ironic that occurred on the anniversary. Earth Day was on that anniversary. What become Earth Day? So
Earth Day.
1952, the first network televised atomic bomb detonation in Nevada. That is, you look back in history, and I am still Donald Ing.
Thank you, Don.
Yes, sir.
Now time for Rob Adams with sports. It was an odd game last night. We were both down in Greenwich for the Ridgefield Greenwich lacrosse game, and it was a nip and tuck game, but it was never, and maybe it was because it was a game of runs.
Yes.
It was never one of those, I'm on the edge of my seat, and we talked off air, and I think we both would have bet the house that was going overtime.
Yeah, I really thought it was going to wind up there, but it did not. We did see Greenwich play Ridgefield yesterday afternoon down at Cardinal Stadium, and good lacrosse once again. Sleepy at times with all the offense that we saw. It was still kind of a sleepy game, but Will Perry was able to score with 4 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in that game to give Greenwich a 1-goal lead at home against Ridgefield. The Cardinals needed to hold on. Could they do it? Let's find out.
No need to panic just yet. Matthias with 10. Now they've got to set things up. Matthias back to Dirth. It bats around. It knocks around. It's loose. And Greenwich has got it. They flip it all the way out, down to the other end. And with one, the Greenwich Cardinals win this one.
And the Cardinals do get the victory, 14-13 the final score. Greenwich has won 4 straight against the Tigers, including in playoff action. Elsewhere in boys lacrosse, Wilton beat Fordham Prep of New York 10-6, Darien 13, Ludlow 5, Stratford over Trinity Catholic 8-6. Also, for the third consecutive season, the New Canaan boys lacrosse team got the better of the Ridgewood, New Jersey Maroons, winning on the road 14-6 Tuesday night. New Canaan was led by Justin Meichner, who scored a hat trick while dishing out 2 assists. Senior co-captain Michael Kraus scored twice and had an assist. Midfielders Peter Swindell and Ryan O'Connell each found the net twice. The Rams improved to 4-1. St. Joe's beat Norwalk 8-7 in overtime. John Jay continued its resurgence in New York, defeating Fox Lane at home 10-7. That's 4 straight now for the Indians, avenging a loss to the Foxes earlier. After an 0-5 start, here come John Jay. They are 4-5 with 4 straight impressive wins. Girls lacrosse, Staples over West Hill 15-10. Ward beat Stanford 7-6. Greenwich Academy 13, Greenwich 12. We have New Canaan over Norwalk 19-3. Ludlow 10, Ridgefield 8. Southington nips Trumbull 11-10. To baseball, St. Joe's got by Jonathan Law 1-0. The Cadets were led by Joe Zanchetti, who was solid throughout the contest. 5 2/3 innings. And St. Joe's hurler gave up no runs and 4 hits, striking out 2 and walking 2. Danbury over Stanford 7-3, Ridgefield 10, Central 2. It took 8 innings for Ward to beat Staples 1-0. Darien over Harding 6-0. McMahon falls to Trinity Catholic 10-0, which is surprising given the result we saw just back on Sunday in Cooperstown. And this is just, it is what it is. They play the games, but this is shameful. And I don't blame the teams involved. It is what it is. Ludlow 30, Bassick 0. That's rough.
They can't. They have to go 5 innings before they call it.
They can call a mercy rule, but 30-0. That is rough. And it's I found myself listening to an old tape last night, believe it or not, of a game I did back in 2003, and Greenwich was beating Bassick 17-1 in that game. So just. It is what it is. I'm not knocking the athletes in question or the teams, but it's just that's rough. Darien beat Freiburg, Maine 6-0. Stamford over Danbury 6-0. Trumbull 7, Wilton 3, Norwalk over New Canaan 13-10. We've got some other goodies for you as well. Track and field winners, Staples over Norwalk. Staples also over Stamford. Norwalk beat Stamford, so some boys track and field information there. New Canaan got a victory. They beat Ridgefield 4-3 at New Canaan High School. Although Ridgefield won the top singles match, the Rams took the 4th and 5th spots and swept the doubles match, both in straight sets to clinch the victory. New Canaan now 5-0 on the year. Other winners, Danbury, Staples, Ludlow, Darien, St. Joe's, and Wilton. Girls tennis winners were Staples, Ludlow, Danbury, Darien, and St. Joe's. Boys golf winners, Ludlow over Staples, West Hill with a win, Ward got the victory, Ridgefield, Darien, Trumbull, and Wilton. Greenwich and Danbury winning girls golf. It was Ridgefield over Fairfield 3-1 in boys volleyball, and Trumbull beat Harding 3-0. And we finish with another little note, something you passed along to me that we were kind of eye-chatting each other. Seems that a particular Yankee, after 9 years, is finally going to sign his retirement papers. Burn, baby, burn.
And here's a drive to left. It's mighty high. It's mighty far. And good night.
Bernie Williams, walking off in Game 1 of the 1996 American League Championship, will finally sign his retirement papers. He's been gone a long time, and that, of course, was the walk-off. That was the first time we heard those classic words, burn, baby, burn.
When I was playing a lot of rotisserie fantasy baseball, he was one of my early draft picks every year.
I still don't think his number should be retired, but that's a whole different argument.
I think he was a great player for his time. I don't know. Number of retirements, another.
Good player for his time, for sure. That was Bob Costas, by the way, courtesy of MLB, which was a great call on NBC. Yes. Really just a great play-by-play guy.
Josh Fisher joining us in studio right now. We're going to talk about the passing of a Darien resident who, Rob, shaped some of how we saw some of the biggest sports moments of, if you're of our generation, of our lives. And that, Josh, being Lou Volpicelli?
Yeah, John, Lou Volpicelli died on Monday at the age of 91. He started off his career in the U.S. Army in his 20s, working as a radio operator and entertainment specialist, which sparked his interest in entertainment and eventually news and sports, particularly. Lou spent his career at ABC Sports, pioneering television sports production, and also invested his talents into documentary and entertainment program. He did a great documentary on Lombardi, of the Green Bay Packers coach
in the 60s.
In the 60s.
Oh,
yeah,
great documentary.
It's amazing, and he got to work, of course, with Roone Arledge, who was the leading pioneer, and how we cover sports today has a lot to do with what Roone and Lou and all those guys did back at ABC Sports.
What they did with ABC was so groundbreaking, with the wide world of sports coverage, with the Olympic coverage, which for its time was huge. It pales in comparison to what we do now, but how they covered it, A, in the scope, and B, in the content, really changed things.
Guys like that, guys like Harry Coyle on NBC with the center field camera shot that we now take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these were all groundbreaking people in what we do now.
Right, and Lou was the original director of Monday Night Football on ABC.
Remember the first game?
No, who was that?
Jets and Browns.
Jets and Browns.
I actually won a trivia contest on the radio in 1983 or 4, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
Browns are finally back on this year.
They asked that question, and I was down in White Plains, of all things, drove all the way home to Mayapack, still didn't have an answer. I was able to call in. I think I was 15.
I had the pleasure of going with Lou to the last ABC-held Monday Night Football broadcast, which I believe was New England and the Jets. It was at the Meadowlands. And they had, all sorts of dignitaries on hand, and Lou brought me to the after party, which was in Manhattan, and I got to shake John Madden's hand and Al Michaels' hand, and Frank Gifford, awesome. All those guys were there. But Lou just loved telling a story, and he directed. And I know John knew him from his days in Darien, and Lou came in, and I did a feature story on him and his work with ABC. And then eventually brought him on as a columnist, and he did a Visits with Volpicelli column for almost 10 years with the Darien Times, and it was just telling the stories about your typical Darienites, whether those who lived in town or those who worked in town, and he just loved telling a story. He thought everyone had a story. He built up a friendship with Muhammad Ali from covering a bunch of his fights. Lou directed every single Olympics that ABC had from '68 on into, I believe, '88. Here we go.
Tape is rolling in less than 5, in 3, 2, 1. Take tape.
And that's the original theme of Monday Night Football in 1970.
And if you saw those videos, that drew you in. You wanted to be in the trailer. I wanted to be in the trailer. I wanted to be doing that.
We're at the magnificent Mistake by the Lake here in Cleveland, Ohio.
And Lou always had some great stories about working with Howard Cosell, and he covered the Thrilla in Manila. And filmed this. He told me this story about filming this whole thing where they had at the beginning, it was Muhammad Ali pulling a rickshaw down the street, and they shot the film and everything beforehand. And Muhammad Ali was such a ham for it and always willing to work. And he had the big fight the next day. His parents are there, and the film got exposed or something. They lost the film, and he had to call Muhammad Ali up and tell him that. And Ali agreed to redo an intro just before the fight.
Wow.
And Lou's wife Susie died just this last month, about a month ago. And Lou's son-in-law, Rob Prassmark, who is married to his just lovely daughter, Liz. Rob was working, last I heard, for NBC Universal. He was then also covering the Olympics for NBC. It's a real family affair. Lou was honored with the Man of the Year award in Darien by the Old Timers Association a few years back. and was heavily involved in the Lions Club in Darien. Just loved the town, but loved sports, loved telling stories, and it was an honor to work with him for years. And I know Darien certainly is mourning his loss this week.
Very involved in the community of Darien in his later years. And as you said, and if you think about how they changed how sports was covered, he really truly believed everybody has a story. And if you look, that's how they cover the Olympics these days. That's how sports are covered these days. And it traces its way back to Lou Volpicelli and those like it.
And for people who do sports, whether it's in front of the camera or with a microphone or behind the camera, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to tell a story. It's all about storytelling in sports, I think, more than anything.
Yeah. And there's a lot of what we watch on sports today that, I think of Lou a lot when I see that, because you don't even realize all the sort of stuff that they really came up with back then that is standard now. ABC started instant replay.
Yeah.
Could you imagine life without instant replay?
And they would say, that, you used to have that graphic that would say instant replay or via satellite instant replay. There were things like that they would use, and now we just take it all for granted.
And the Darien Times has a plenty of coverage planned this week in tomorrow's paper, and it'll be online later this week on DarienTimes.com. But
a fascinating guy. I mean, from some of the stuff I was reading, apparently went sledding with Mussolini at one point. And one great quote that I read, he spoke Italian like an Italian.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no question.
He loved to go eat at Papa Joe's in Darien. He loved to have a martini and a few other drinks and some drambuie. He loved drambuie. I told him I never could understand why he liked it. But he said the more you drink it, the more you like it. And he always said that his life could be described as the Young at Heart song. That was his theme song.
That's a great
for
one.
life, and he always had a smile on his face. He always had a story to tell, and so check out certainly the Darien Times this week. I know Susan Schultz has been working hard on some stories there, but Lou Volpicelli, a great man, dead at 91.
All right, John.
Thanks, guys. Breaking news that just moved out of Trumbull, courtesy Kate Chaplinsky at the Trumbull Times, and the story's up at TrumbleTimes.com. Trumbull police nabbed 2 suspects early this morning after they allegedly stole items out of unlocked cars in the Tashua area of Trumbull. 20-year-old Kevin Russell of Clemens Avenue in Trumbull and 22-year-old Brandon Alexander Pontillo of Easton were stopped by police around 12:30 this morning. Police said they found them to be in possession of several stolen items, including credit cards, a purse, a wallet, small electronics, and more. Trumbull Police Lieutenant Leonard Cinto said only 2 owners of stolen items have been identified as of this morning. Police are still working to identify who the other items belong to. The items were taken from unlocked cars in the area of Crocus Lane and Colonial Drive. One resident reportedly saw the suspects in his driveway going into cars and called the police. The suspects were driving a red vehicle described as having a loud muffler, and an officer in the area found them soon after the call. Russell and Pontillo were each charged with 3 counts of third-degree burglary and 3 counts of sixth-degree larceny. Bond was $1,000 each. They were both scheduled to be arraigned this morning. If you live in the Tashua area, particularly in the area of Crocus Lane and Colonial Drive, and think you may have had items stolen out of your vehicle or have information on this case, contact Trumbull Police 203-261-3665. Thank Kate Chaplinsky for updating us on that story. With that, we are going to step out. We are going to take a little break, and we are going to come back and meet Monroe.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us. We won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
Spring is finally in the air and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
It's easy to advertise on HANradio.com, reach 263,000 listeners each month with our sports programming and talk programming. Call Mary Ann Hersam at 203-417-5199.
You're listening to Hersam Acorn Radio.
And you're listening to Coffee Break for a Wednesday morning here on HANradio.com. It is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2015, Earth Day and all that good stuff. Beautiful day outside. I'm Rob Adams with John Kovach across the way, and we've got Donald Eng in studio. Of course, he is a big part of the Coffee Break family, does the history, co-anchor, but he's also the editor of the Monroe Courier, and that's where I bring him in. Don.
The HAN Radio utility infielder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're here to talk about Meet Monroe, a fun event happening tomorrow. We'll be broadcasting from it. And our guest today is Brendan McKeon, president of the Monroe Chamber of Commerce. Brendan, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me here, guys.
No problem. Just great to have you here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this event? Because it's a trade show. It's a business trade show, but it's a heck of a lot more. So why don't you go ahead and explain what some of these things are that we're going to see tomorrow?
In the years I've been in the chamber, the Meet Monroe keeps getting bigger and bigger. It now has a life of its own. But tomorrow we have over 40 exhibitors coming out to show their wares. Both this year is going to be our businesses, and we have a lot of groups from the community, as well as, you guys will appreciate this, a wine tasting from Maltos Express up in Monroe, as well as Village Wine and Spirits is providing some wine for a good wine tasting.
This guy's a pro at getting media coverage.
Yeah, I'm liking
this guy
it.
knows his stuff.
I'm liking it.
And I'll feed you.
I'm really liking it.
Yeah, really.
So I think it's 4 or 5 restaurants from town. Vazi's, Marina's, Maltos, Bella Rosa, Jenny's, and Tyberry are having what we're calling our Taste of Monroe. So a couple of our good restaurants jumped on board when they said, free exposure, just bring us food.
Taste of Monroe, sip of Monroe.
Bite of Monroe, whatever.
Food and beverage and some good businesses, and we have something for everybody this year. Kids section, really good stuff.
Right, that's kind of unusual. What are we going to see in the kids section there? Because you think trade show, you don't necessarily think family type event, but that's what this is becoming.
It's becoming it because Monroe is the ultimate family town. Without even me trying to sell it on that, but it's what it's become. So we have our Linda's Story Time, which is a great little independent bookshop that's still in Monroe. They are actually going to have a reading section for the kids. So mom and dad want to go talk to some of the different vendors talk to the different businesses that they've done business with, and they can drop their kids off. We have some people doing some caricatures for people. Is that caricatures or how's that?
Painting.
They're drawing pictures.
They're drawing pictures of
There you
people.
go.
But what we actually, it's just stuff for people to come in. We have raffles. Businesses will donate things all the time. There's going to be a wine basket that I'm donating from the funeral home, because what can you donate from a funeral home besides wine? I mean,
that's a good
it's
point.
really
Yeah.
it's an awkward sell.
Now, the other thing that I noticed is that if for those folks that are actually job seekers, bring your resume. Right?
Bring your resume. Monroe is on the grow, and there's no way of doubting that. We've had more businesses open in town this year than I've remembered in the past, 5-6 years I've been actively involved. But people are looking for jobs, and we have employers looking for good candidates, whether it's part-time, full-time. This came out of a little bit of a thought session that I sat down with the event committee, and I said, wouldn't this be great to have a job fair? And then it just married right into our Meet Monroe.
It really is a great idea because you have all the businesses in one place. And I can't imagine it not helping somebody. And I think it's one of those things that if it helps one person, it did its job.
That's the whole goal of the chamber, is to help people the businesses make the town a better place to live. So why not have people from our community working in those businesses?
Now, the keynote speaker, we were talking before about Monroe and growth, and we've talked about the grand list off the air. We talked about the grand list and how the business base in Monroe is headed up. The keynote speaker is also going to be talking about that, right? Is that his?
That is Brian Atherton. Brian is of Atherton Associates, and he is one of those really go-to guys for what's going on in Monroe real estate, whether it's commercial. He knows a little bit about residential, but we have a lot of growth that is potential in Monroe, and a lot of growth that's happening as we're sitting back and from 20 miles away. You can see the growth coming.
What kind of businesses are growing? I know we talked about the Maltos and some other. So you're seeing the, I guess the craft beverage would probably be the way to phrase it. Agriculture really has been embraced for years as a main business driver in Monroe. That continues to be such?
I would say it's not a main driver, but it's still active. We actually have a business that just joined the chamber, and it's called My Pet Chicken. And so what it is, it's accessories for people that have that have chickens at home, because that's become a new thing. So a lot of cottage industry is expanding. So people would have a home-based business, and they want to get out of their home into an office space, and that's going huge. A lot of independent retailers are realizing their dreams, and restaurant owners. Monroe is where the American dream still exists, where people can afford to start a business.
So somebody who's listening, they want to go to Meet Monroe, which is 4 to 7 Thursday. That's tomorrow at the Waterview, 215 Roosevelt Avenue in Monroe. Somebody wants to go. What do they have to do?
Show up. Just come right in the front door. It's a free, open to the public event. The only thing that we do charge for tomorrow is our keynote speaker for our sponsors reception, which is at 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And that's we still have a few tickets left for that. It's also going to be at the Waterview, so it's a great way to mingle with some other business owners, and to, in all honesty, just come out and support the community.
It sounds like a great event. Now, we will be there, right, Rob?
We will. We will be there right after things get going. We'll be on the air. I'm going to buzz up and join you guys. Yep. You and Eric Gendron are going to help set things up, and then we'll get off and running and be on the air.
Right. You want me to set you guys up next to the wine tasting station, right?
That would be correct.
I really fail to see any question in that. Is
that even a question?
It's not.
No.
We'll be wrapping up Yankee Fisherman 1-2 tomorrow.
Right.
From there, we'll be going straight over to the Waterview for Meet Monroe. And we always have a lot of fun at these. We've done a number of these in sidewalk sales, and it's just a great event where it's good for us to meet the people, to meet the community, show them what we do. And we're really excited about this opportunity to go to Meet Monroe and talk to people.
Well, we're excited to have you guys there because you guys are great, helping us promote this event for years now at this point.
Well, we're excited to be there and excited to check it all out. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks. Look forward to it, guys.
Yeah, Brendan McKeon, Monroe Chamber of Commerce president. Hey, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
We've got a little information going on here on Coffee Break. Sean Saylor has tweeted, and things have kind of just updated. A very fluid situation, John. Fire alarm going off at Sacred Heart University in the main academic building in Fairfield. Then moments later, he said the building was being evacuated. However, people are now being allowed to re-enter the building.
Sounds like it's an alarm.
Yep, sounds like much ado about nothing. But Sean right on top of those things for us. So 11:47 here on your Coffee Break. We'll take a timeout.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram with one of the largest experience in car buying. Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands at the award season event, now through April 30th. Want a new experience?
Orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season. And we are rated #1 on the knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
This year, 3,000 Connecticut women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Hersam Acorn is a proud sponsor of the Komen Connecticut Race for the Cure. Help make an impact in the local fight against breast cancer by joining us on May 9th in Westport at Sherwood Island. With your help, Komen Connecticut invests in local breast cancer programs, helping local women beat breast cancer. Visit KomenCT.org to register, volunteer, or donate today. We race for Connecticut. Why will you race?
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
Coming up on 11:50 on this Wednesday edition of Coffee Break. Great time talking about Meet Monroe. Really cannot wait to be there tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. We enjoy those events. Brendan McKeon, can't thank him enough, president of the Monroe Chamber of Commerce, joining us. Let's take a quick look at sports. We are running behind. Rob, what's going on this afternoon? I know we got Nutmeg at 2 o'clock.
We do, and a good guest list today. Among the guests will be Dave Stewart from the New Canaan Advertiser and FCAC.net. An old friend of mine and from Paul Silverfarbs as well, Matt Hamilton, will be in studio with us. I've known Matt since he was, I will hasten to say, about 13 years old, and not long after he became an intern of mine at WGCH. Grew up to go coach a little bit with Rich Albanizio at Greenwich High School, went to Missouri, also worked for NFL Films for a while. So Matt's an interesting kid, smart guy.
That's going to be a good listen.
And he's not even a kid anymore. So
another of my dream jobs, NFL Films.
Yeah, he started with me as an intern, I think, in 2004. So I've known Matt a long time at this point, and we'll have him in on the show today. He'll stay with us probably for the whole show. And so that's just a couple of the guests we've got coming on today at 2 o'clock on Nutmeg Sports. Now, John, I have to admit, You told me how to pronounce the name just as we went to come back from air, and I don't want to screw it up.
Ellie Tomasowicz.
That's what I thought, but she has been inducted, or will be inducted, into the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. It's at its banquet today in Hamden. She was the third Connecticut female to score more than 1,000 points in her high school career. As a guard, she totaled 1,378 points before graduating in 1978. As a freshman in 1975, she and her sister Claire Beth helped Weston beat Cheshire 59-42 for the Class M championship. 4 years later, the sisters again played together on the Princeton University team that was runner-up in the Ivy League championship. She was a three-sport varsity athlete as well. So she is going into the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, and congratulations to her.
Weston Athletics just now reporting that the home softball and baseball games scheduled for today against Colby Cathedral have been postponed until tomorrow.
I saw that as well. Doug Bonjour had just put that out a moment ago. Among the other snapshots of information we've got for you, St. Joe's beat Jonathan Law in baseball yesterday, 1-0. Danbury, Ridgefield, Ward, Ludlow, Darien, Trinity Catholic among your other winners. John Jay got a victory as well in Westchester County, beating Brewster of Putnam County 9-3. That's where I was going with that, out of New York. Softball winners, Darien over Freiburg, Maine, 6-0. Stamford, Trumbull, Norwalk with victories as well. We had Greenwich and Ridgefield yesterday. The Cardinals got the 14-13 victory as Will Perry scored with 4:23 to play. New Canaan over Ridgewood, New Jersey, 14-6. St. Joe's in overtime over Norwalk, 8-7. Immaculate beat West Hill. Wilton, Darien, Stratford with wins. John Jay in New York also gets a win, beating Fox Lane 10-7 among your various notes here in sports. But that'll do it for sports. We've got sports coming up again on Saturday. We're back in action when we have New Canaan and Greenwich boys lacrosse. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Coffee break time, 11:53.
Thank you, Rob. Taking a quick look at the weather, which we haven't done in a while. 62 and fair outside our Shelton studio, but as the postponement of the Weston game scheduled for today would increase, there is rain, and it is now being described as heavy rain in the forecast for this afternoon. High in the mid-60s, dropping to 38 with showers tonight. Tomorrow, mid-50s, partly cloudy. Currently 62 outside our Shelton studio, 62 in Ridgefield, and almost 10 degrees cooler on the shore, 53 in Fairfield. Quick look at the roads, and we have road work in Wallingford. Disabled vehicle in Stratford on the Merritt Parkway South, about a mile beyond exit 3. That is Route 110 Main Street. That's right by the Sikorsky Bridge, so that'll back up quickly. Also, road work in Darien on 95 South, just beyond exit 13, which is the post road right at the Norwalk line. Earlier delays in Westport reported to be cleared, and delays reported still on the Merritt North in Greenwich at exit 31. And as Rob would quickly tell you, that is North Street.
Yes, sir.
Coffee break time's 11:55. Get a couple more headlines in, Rob.
Alrighty, let's do that right now as we jump back in at 11:55. In 5 years or less, if things as town officials plan, and John, I'm going to double check. Were we on this one? This was the Norotan Heights one.
Yeah,
we did
fine.
do that. Okay.
No.
We're good. Okay, thank you.
No,
in 5 years or less, if things go as a town official's plan, commuters and residents might not even recognize the Norotan Heights area of Darien. With 4 apartment or condominium properties nearby having been built, being redeveloped or likely to be built soon, the town has now secured a grant to study all kinds of, quote, transit-oriented development, unquote, of the Norotan Heights Metro North Rail Station and surrounding area. The grant, which is 80% federal money, 10% state, and 10% tax money, will provide $250,000 for the study, explains Edward Gentile Jr., Director of the Department of Public Works. Developments near the Norotan Heights Station are the Heights at Darien, an occupied occupied property with 53 deed-restricted affordable residential units. Federal Realty Development, a proposed property on Heights Road that would have some 150 residential units and some retail and restaurant use. Palmer Family Development, a proposed property that would have about 50 residential units as well as some retail, office, and restaurant use. And 131 Hollow Tree Ridge, a vacant property across from the train station where another 30 or so residential units could be built. Gentile said the area that could see major changes and significant growth and development in as few as 5 years, possibly in 10 years or longer. The study will develop a plan and program for improved access, operations, and safety of bicycle, scooter, and pedestrian access to and from the Norotan Heights train station, according to the town's application for the project. You can read much more on the future of Norotan Heights at DarienTimes.com. Coffee break time, 11:56.
Thanks, Rob. Updating a story we brought you yesterday. Gates Restaurant in New Canaan has been sold to an unnamed, locally based restaurant company. Current owners Jeb Swift and Bill Auer confirm. Swift and Auer will close their business at the end of the evening this Sunday, April 26th. After 36 years of operation, Gates really a landmark in New Canaan. If you were meeting somebody in New Canaan, odds are you were meeting them at Gates. The new owners plan to keep that name. It will be called Gates, Auer said, and it will reopen with an updated interior and menu. That reopening is tentatively scheduled for late August or early September. A person close to the buyers and sellers who asked his name not be used told the New Canaan Advertiser. The person with knowledge of the planning said that the new owners may create an open kitchen for a fun experience and offer classic American fare, work to attract families, and have an active bar environment. There is a letter thanking the community in tomorrow's New Canaan Advertiser. Auer says he and Swift will remain partners with Paul Mock in owning Tequila Mockingbird, which shares an entrance with Gates on Forest Street in New Canaan.
Coffee break time, 11:58, as we get closer to wrapping this one up for a Wednesday edition with Nutmeg Sports coming up at 2 o'clock, and a busy Thursday as well. Patty Gay and Stir Crazy back tomorrow, Yankee Fisherman as well, and then we'll be in Monroe later on.
And Patty has a big show tomorrow. She's got a reveal of chefs in a contest that's coming up.
Yes, so that will be tomorrow, noon here on HANradio.com, streaming live. On HANradio.com. We won't stream that with live video, but you will with Yankee Fisherman at 1 o'clock.
I will. We are scheduled to have Leon Sylvester in the studio, and he is going to talk about the big Housatonic River cleanup that's coming up on Saturday. They still need sponsors. They still need volunteers. It's an annual event coupled with Earth Day. It's a big deal. We are also going to talk about stripers. Leon has taken some tremendous video of striped bass in the Hoosie, and we're going to be taking a look at some of those and talking about that as we get ready for striper season.
So it's an exciting time. And what is the most exciting time in fishing season, if you don't mind me asking?
Probably the countdown to opening day of trout season.
Is it?
Because that's the big one that everybody looks forward to, and because they close a lot of ponds and rivers and lakes to fishing entirely for a month, 6 weeks for stocking leading up to opening day.
So you would say, give me a calendar year, you would say that is the most exciting day of the year?
For me, no, because I never go on opening day.
Okay.
Because I find it to be just too crowded. I will sometimes go on opening day, but very, very seldom, because you'll go and you'll just be overrun with people. For me, it's really any day I can get out at this point.
All right. Very good. On that note, we're going to say goodbye for today. You got a final check of traffic or weather or anything else before we get out of here?
I've just got those delays in Greenwich, that disabled vehicle in Stratford, that road work we reported earlier in Milford on the Merritt, and the construction in Darien by exit 13, and get ready for rain this afternoon.
Sounds good. And on that note, we'll say goodbye. We're back with you with Nutmeg Sports in a couple of hours. Matt Hamilton would join us for a cornucopia of some things to talk about. Paul Silverfarb will be along with me, Dave Stewart as well. But for now, for all the crew behind us, AJ, Josh, the whole team, for John Kovach, Donald Eng, I'm Rob Adams. Enjoy your day. We'll talk to you at 2 o'clock on Nutmeg Sports. But for now, thanks for watching and listening to Coffee Break on HANradio.com and streaming live on the Hersam Acorn Network.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.